Actually, no, this would be a good trivia question. Let's see if any of you actually can answer this. What is the biggest industry in the world? In the world, not just Ukraine, not Russia, not Canada, but in the world, the biggest industry. Josie got it. No, 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 no. That's a politically motivated statement there, Tolga. Is wheat. Wheat is the biggest industry in the world. And wheat is grown from Australia through Asia, through Eastern Europe, through South America, North America. Wheat is grown everywhere. So it's kind of interesting how the media, of course, is focusing in on Ukraine and Ukraine wheat right now. But why? And I think the answer is that, and I didn't get an answer from you guys, but when is wheat prices most vulnerable? What is the very specific event that almost year in, year out is the catalyst for a seasonal top in grain prices? What's the word? Josie's, man, he's got all the trivia here. The answer I'm looking for is, and Edward, I don't know whether you know the answer to this, germination. What the hell is germination? Oh, I beg your pardon. Hey, there you go. Megan says germination is the sprouting of the seeds. Pollination is the sex. So there you go. Germination is the pregnancy. Oh, okay. I like that. Well, huh? I don't know. Anyway, bottom line here is, and of course, as an old gnarly commodities broker, this is in essence, germination is the event that before germination, you just don't know how big the ending crop is going to be. After germination, the analyst can actually start getting a pretty good idea of what the final crop tally should be. They're not going to be exact, but they get a pretty good idea. And historically, grain prices, they love to top out into June, July. Basically, germination. That is exactly the event. So I look at this kind of chart and I go, that sure looks like the end of the move, not the beginning of the move. I mean, the interesting thing about wheat, first and foremost, did you know that there are actually 2 wheat crops every year? Anybody know what the name of the winter wheat crop is? You'd be a really good commodities trader if you actually knew the answer to this question, because most people don't. But the point I would just want to point out here is let's look at ending stocks of wheat and just get an idea of what is the, so here you can see further tightening for U.S. global wheat end stocks. Of course, that's all about the potential for Ukraine crop not to come on market. But even look at these numbers. 619 million bushels is the U.S. wheat ending stocks, and that's going to be down 6% year over year. 619 million bushels. I mean, that's the ending stock. That's after, farmers have taken all they want and they put it into storage. So, here we are. U.S. all wheat production for 22-23 is projected at 1.729 billion bushels. And that's up 83 million bushels from last year, as higher yields more than offset the slight decrease in harvested area. So Yeah, I mean, yeah, I hear what you say. You know, some people saying, "Well, Ukraine is the breadbasket of the world." I might argue that all that's going to happen here is there's just going to be more demand for U.S. wheat. Keep in mind, the U.S. and the thing is U.S. isn't the biggest producer. You know, countries like Canada, Australia, they're big producers of wheat. Everybody's big. You know, there. Can you see your inflation? Right? If we put this on a percentage chart, right? And we mark your 0 point. You know, we could do this as an index. Let's do the index as of January 1st, 2021. And we'll do this as an index, right? Index to 100. So we'll start there, our index, and that's your base price. So there you are, basically 100. We're at 167 right now. Now, what kind of price inflation is that? Is that not 67% inflation? I think that's how it works, isn't it? Roughly. I mean, I suppose we could change this to a percentage. Let's see. Yeah, 67%. Do you see now how you get these headline? Oh, inflation is out of control, hyperinflation. Now, but the question is this sustainable over time? You do see these. What are these things called? Do they often like to get filled in? Yeah. And of course, what's the actual trend here? And this is kind of shocking. I think you could make the argument just going back to here that that's actually your trend line. So price really probably, in my humble estimation, is probably going to work its way back down to there. So what happens when price comes back down into here? Are they going to report that, oh, all of a sudden now mysteriously we're living in a world of deflation? I doubt it. But hopefully you can understand why oh my God, inflation is out of control. This was a bull, don't get me wrong. And there's some uncertainty about the Ukraine crop. But I might, we're supposed to be price technicians. We're supposed to look at price and go, well, what's the propensity for that to keep going higher? What's the propensity for this thing to actually top out and head back down? What is the number one rule we are supposed to use to measure any asset? Remember, it's the first technical lesson I learned a million years ago. I quiz you guys quite often on it. So let's see if anybody can jump through a hoop here. What is the very first thing that we should always be asking ourselves? Look at that. Well, one person got it wrong, but most of you got it right. What's a 50% rule? There's your 52-week high. So we got to go back to March, April of 2021. There's 52-week low. 50% rule. Fascinating. Look at that. So you can see that based off of last year, this is why Mr. Gann insists that you follow this 50% rule. You can see exactly where price just boom right into that 50% rule. I mean, just quite stunning. Is this the base for a new move higher? How many key lows do I want to see for me to actually start thinking that this thing's going to start cranking higher? Thank you, Zach. So 1, 2. Okay, well, maybe we get a third low, but what that means is I need to see some consolidation in here. Now, what is it that, I'll give you a hint, LJ, what is it that I want to see for me to believe that this is a new bull market? I actually want to see this line here broken and W's on the other side of it. So again, if we want to see those 3 higher lows, we just took out this low. So this is 1, this is 2. So at best, we got to see maybe number 3 breakout and then give me a W over here. Well, that's going to actually spit out a new buy next year, 2023. And that's if this scenario plays out. Frankly speaking, I don't think it will. So do we really want to? I mean, just think of it this way. I mean, and especially keep this trend line on here because I think this is now telling us. Because also, too, notice if we change this to a line chart, oh, look at that. That also is an M there. This looks pretty damn solid when it comes to some sort of resistance. I wouldn't call it a confirmed trend line yet. So, all you level tours, we'd call this potential. But my hunch here is really, I think, this market, considering we're heading into germination, I would actually say that we probably have something along those lines. And you're probably going to find price just sits in here for the next little while.